In this tutorial, I will be guiding you in a full installation of OpenClaw without writing any code. OpenClaw is basically a software package which you need to install, but think of it as an agentic solution and something that you would not want to have running on your own computer, because if it starts digging into your private information, I think this is something you want to avoid. So you would always run OpenClaw on a separate installation, and this is exactly what we're about to do. In this solution and in this tutorial, I will be setting it up with Railway. Railway is an automation platform, basically for setting up of real platforms as a service with just a few clicks. So this is something that you will be able to install in a matter of like 10 minutes, maybe 15. So let's get started. We go to Railway, and here we need to sign in, and we will need to sign in with GitHub. So if you aren't familiar, github.com, you will need to make an account first. This is easy. Just go to github.com, click the sign up, and you would need to create an account. That's basically it. Once you have created your account, you can just click continue with GitHub. In this case, I think it is tied to my Google account, which is my separate Google account. I use it for all my agentic solutions. Don't use your own Gmail account or any other personal account for this. So you will be going to your Railway dashboard. As you can see, I already have a CloudBot running in production and also an N8N automation server. So in order to get you started, you would first need to attach a credit card to your account. So account settings, and here you need to go to billing. Make sure you have tied a credit card to your account. I think you will be billed probably like $5 only in your first month, and then depending on usage, maybe a bit more or even a bit less. I think this is probably the most cheap solution you can find on the internet right now for this. So let's get started with the first project. We click new, and here it asks us, what would you like to create? So we can start from a GitHub repository. The thing that really defines Railway is we can just start from a template. And these are templates optimized for Railway. Railway can really do a lot of things and also tie them together, because something like CloudBot, it requires a full installation setup, but it also requires some technical settings, and it will do all of them for you, which is of course great. So you can have a look inside the templates folder. There are a lot of things you can install with just one click from here. So the template that we will be installing is this one: OpenClaw, former Moldbot, CloudBot, Railway template, the AI that actually does things. So this is for me the one that's installing and directly working. So this is the one we need. It's from Ads Projects, and while it says it has an uptime of 92%, it happened to be 100%, at least for me. So I click on it, and it will ask me two variables needed, variable values needed. You need to click configure. It needs a setup password and a OpenClaw gateway token. So I'm gonna just get a few numbers and paste them here. I'm going to use different numbers for the gateway token. We will need these tokens to get into the user interface, because actually this will be running on the internet and we are the only ones that need to access it, or need to be able to access them. So that's why these passwords are needed. I'm gonna click deploy now, and this will install my OpenClaw installation. So here you see it's applying changes. It will run for a few minutes, and when it's ready, I'll come back. The installation took a few minutes, and here you can see online. So this means we have successfully deployed our installation. So what does the Railway backend look like? We have our project OpenClaw, an overview of the deployments. If you are a non-technical user, the deployments, you don't really need to bother about them. It will auto-update because if someone adds a fix to the GitHub repository, which is basically all the code of the software, it will auto-update inside Railway as well. So we have backups. You need the pro plan for this. We have some variables. Our gateway token will also be here. So let me double check, because this need to be the same, of course. Yes, so I really hadn't need to save them separately, because we can still look them up here, which is quite handy. We have some metrics about usage, also interesting. And we have settings. The settings is the source repo, but more importantly, the public networking, which is your installation. So we are going to click on here. And here it will ask a username and a password. Username is the gateway token we already have added in here. These were the two variables that were asked, and the setup password. So I'm gonna copy and paste them in here and sign in. All right, this is the setup page of OpenClaw. So we have done like all of the work already. We have a installation of OpenClaw, and now we of course need to fill in some settings to get this working and get us started with OpenClaw. So as you can see, it says not configured, run the setup below. One of the more important things is here, you need to provide your large language model. So these agents, any agentic solution with generative AI runs on a large language model. So whether it is, and here you can see all the options, whether it's Anthropic, OpenAI, Google Gemini, I mean, these are the three most common LLM providers, you would need to provide your API key. And in this case, I'm going to use an OpenAI API key. The auth method will be just an API key. And here I need to paste in the key. So for this, I need to go to platform.openai.com/settings/organization/API keys. And here I need to create a new secret key, which is basically an access to OpenAI, to ChatGPT, to the models of OpenAI, to, for my agent to reason, to think, to do tasks. So I'm going to click create a new secret key. I'm going to give it a name. OpenClaw Railway 2. In my case, I already have one for my other installation, and I'm just gonna click. I need to select project, which is in my case just default project, and I'm gonna click create secret key. So this gets me a key. I can just click copy and then go back to my OpenClaw installation screen. So I'm gonna copy my token here. Then it asks me optional channels. A Telegram bot token, discard and etc. I don't have them. I'm not going to use them. And I'm going to click Run Onboarding, Run Setup. So here you see it starts running. Once this is done, you get something like saved the key to data, OpenClaw, env, etc. It's going to bind it, and it says gateway token synced successfully. So basically, this just added the most important key, which is your LLM key, to your OpenClaw. And now I, of course, remember what this button means. Open the OpenClaw UI. It's really your user interface you will be working on. So actually your OpenClaw, but you can only use it once you have finished your installation, your onboarding setup. So this is done, and I'm going to click Open OpenClaw UI. And here it is. So this is quite amazing. We have our installation here. It doesn't look quite good so far. This is actually the OpenClaw dashboard, but there is still one thing missing. Let's go to Overview. Here you see Control Overview. And here we once again need to pass in our gateway token. Let's copy it and then just paste it here. And I'm going to click the system or shared password. I don't think I need it. Let's click connect. And here it says connected. So we have done the most important steps. This was quite important. The logo is quite off here, but I know for a matter of fact that after I use it for a while, it suddenly does appear. So this is something that's I think still wrong in the installation code, but okay. It's about the functional use, of course. What system are you running on? As you can see, it starts typing. So let's have a look if we get an answer. So this would mean a successful connection. All right, so let's see what it gives. It gives me a lot. So it gives me his soul, who he is. So this is actually, now we go to the core of how OpenClaw works. It's actually working based on a few files. So soul.md, this is something you can actually change as well. But it's interesting to read. It just tells you what his instructions basically are. So it will work on it will work for you based on a few fundamentals. And in this case, here you see your soul, who he is, some boundaries, some vibe even. It also has a user.md, so about the person. This is something we can update ourselves. So if you install OpenClaw for like a client, you would name the client there. Now this is something, this is all extensible and something you would extend, of course. Okay, so now he answers to me. I just put it up in your OpenClaw workspace, and I still need to figure out a proper name and vibe. What should I call you, and what do you want to call me? So I'm going to say, my name is Steph Lovren, but please call me Steph. I want to name you King Crab. So this is actually, while this is just an of course a pretty silly conversation, but it does mean a lot, because here you see it also writes things. It writes his identity here. So here you see to identity.md, he writes his own identity, he writes mine identity, and from now on he will say, hey Steph, I'm done, I'm King Crab now. Straight out of your OpenClaw sandbox on that Linux, and then he just gives me the type of Linux he's on, which is basically something pretty nice. Let's just go over a few things here. We have instances. This is basically some gateways. We don't need to go into them here. Here we see sessions. This is actually our session we just had. When you like run jobs in the night, you will see these sessions appear here as well. Usage, also of course very interesting. Cron jobs, and here is basically, this is basically where you will enable your jobs. What is a job? When you say something like, every night at 3 p.m., look up the weather for next day and send it to me via email. It will do that. This is a job. You can configure agents more, but we will, for now, always use our basic agent, of course. So here we have agents. As you can see, we have our default agent that is working. Here you see all those files that I was talking about. So we can just, change them here as well. Soul, tools, identities. Here you see King Crab, user.md, my name, call me Steph, etc., etc. Now we go over to skills. Skills is one of the more interesting things. So yeah, you have to click this little button here. This is important. So here, skills are, integrations. Just think of integrations. Gawk is probably the most famous one at this moment, the Google Workspace suite. So if you want your agent to be able to send emails, to add things to a calendar, to add things to a drive, etc., you would need to have Gawk installed. Sometimes you can just add a API key and save it, and then you have it. Here, Nano Banana Pro, which is pretty interesting. Generate or edit images. You can just ask it to let an agent do it. You need a Gemini API key for this. Nodes. You can add other hardware to it, physical devices. What could it be? Like even a camera or a smartphone. This is not something to be covered here in this tutorial. Then we have configuration. Also pretty interesting. There's so much in here. I think it is one of the more amazing things I encountered in the generative AI space since quite some time, I have to be honest. Then we have debug. We don't need to go over all of these. But here